laid off, right, recently. And it's to me it's saddening because the response to it, it's like no one wants to address really the elephant in the room. And I'm talking about specifically, and I'm a fan of this editorial, but I just didn't really care for the response of the news article for the podcast for VGC. So the guy who made made the points. I want to say it was Andy, but he made the points. As far as like how we need good journalists, in the scene or whatnot. And then as far as how like a lot of there's like a lot of these YouTubers and stuff like they want to shit on journalists that are being laid off, but then it's like they're using our editorials and stuff for their show. But I just feel like they're ignoring the fact that but there hasn't been real journalism for a lot of these editorials. Like that is like I understand if you want to stand up for journalists or to stand up for journalists that are good journalists and they're being laid off. Like I understand that, but the what a lot of YouTubers are pissed off at is when journalism isn't happening, you have these personal stances that are getting in the way of what they're doing, and it's like stances that really don't make any sense. It all goes back to like that GameSpot article of the journalists that didn't decide not to didn't want to be the cops when they play Cyberpunk. You know what I mean? Even though that's a portion of the game, so it's just like that's not journalism.
And to clarify, Joel, the article. Oh, just to clarify real quick to back it up, you're talking of a podcast response to an article came out that said like I think what was the number like 1,600 game
Yeah, it
journalists
was
have
that.
lost their
Yeah,
jobs in the industry. So that's the
thousands.
context. There was an article where it was like 1,000 plus game journalists have lost their jobs over the industry in the industry. And then Video Games Chronicle was talking about it and had a take that was like kind of corpo or like defensive and nothing, and it wasn't accountable. Like I said, Drill, look at Black Myth Wukong. You remember who was it? Oh, it was Game Rant. You remember Joe? Game Rant literally gave Black Myth Wukong a lower score because a Chinese made game about Chinese fucking mythology wasn't inclusive. Like, hey
Yeah,
guys,
like
like I said,
where's the journalism in that?
like, hey
Like
guys, shot in the fucking dark. Shot in the dark. Filipino mythology doesn't have a lot of Native Americans in it. Sorry. Don't know what to tell you. There's no. I'm sorry. Amana Nangal is not fucking Cherokee. I'm sorry to fucking burst your bubble about it. Oh, and here's the thing, Drill. And here's another thing too, Drill. Why this shit's so two faced. Assassin's Creed Origins came out. Takes place in Egypt. Where was the backlash? Where was the backlash about? Where's the backlash about? Like, oh, there's no, fuck, Southeast Asians. There could have been more BIPOC representation. There's more like, it's almost like when you make a period-paced game that takes place in the world at a certain place in time before fucking multiculturalism or world travel fucking existed. Oh, it's almost like way back in XBC, the vast majority of people in Egypt were Egyptians, and again, all this other shit. Like again, like we make a game about any mythology. You make a game about Appalachian mythology. It's like the Wendigo and fucking that I forget the name of it. That jackrabbit that has the antlers. It was in Jackie Chan Adventures. You know what I'm talking about. And it's like, oh, hey, someone made a game about American mythology, like the Wendigo, Bigfoot, Paul Bunyan. How come there's no people from Thailand? It's like, god damn it. And so the fact that, we're talking about Battlefield, a multiplayer game selling 7 million copies. Black Myth Wukong was a single player game that sold, what was it, Joe? Like upwards of like 10 plus million?
yeah, over 10 million copies. Yeah.
And they're still going to, and they like in the actual tangible scoring card, like what lowered its score? Lack of representation and inclusion. It's a foreign made game
Yeah, like
about mythology.
this isn't like a presentation for a classroom. Yeah. It's like what are you talking about?